Hello, hello, welcome back. It is me, Lady C, and today we are answering the question, what's the difference between annual travel insurance and a single trip policy? Business owners, as you know, if you're working with me in our with Expire 50 Consulting Group, or if you're a member of the Excel 850 team, we talk about protecting your asset, right? So, as a business owner, and you're protecting your asset, one of the things you need to consider is what protection do you have when you're moving about in the country, outside the country, cruising, whatever the case may be. So, today, we're not in our operations mindset, but we are in our travel mindset, because as an owner, you will travel. You'll travel with friends, you'll travel with family, and a lot of times you'll travel for networking events to learn and to enhance and grow your business, which is the realm that we help you with in our travel management. And we want to make sure that you're doing things that are going to be helpful to you. So again, that question today is, what's the difference between annual travel insurance and a single trip policy? So just to jump right into it, I'm not going to make this really long. Your single trip policy is a type of policy that covers one specific trip. Once the trip is over, that policy is over. So it starts the day that your travel starts and the day that your travel ends. So let's say your travel starts on the 1st and you're supposed to return, or your travel supposed to end on the 7th. So that policy technically ends on the 7th. This type of policy is best for those who travel once or twice a year, expensive or long trips, or trips with large prepaid costs. The coverage is tied to the exact travel dates. Trip cancellation interruption protection is included, and usually this protection type allows you to ensure the full trip cost, and it ends when the trip ends. Now, remember what I just said, it ends when the trip ends. So, going back to the scenario of the trip ending on the 7th, let's say there is a travel delay, something that's not your fault, and you don't get back to the 11th. Well, that protection is going to continue until that trip ends, because that delay was not caused by you, or that delay was a covered event. The event advantage for this type of protection, single trip protection, is that it is the most comprehensive protection for that one trip. Now, the limitation to this is you must buy a new policy every time there is a new trip. Okay, so looking at the annual trip or the multi-trip policy, this is a 12-month policy. So if you buy that trip on February the 3rd, it ends on February 2nd the next year. And it's going to cover all the trips that happen within that 12-month period. This is great for people who travel 3 or more times per year, your business travelers, which is you, and weekend or short trip travelers. Now, of course, the policy covers multiple trips. It usually includes medical, evacuation, delay, and baggage. Each trip has a maximum length, so be aware of that when looking at the policy, and before you pay for it. Generally, that maximum length is between 30 and 90 days. And then trip cancellation coverage is often limited or optional. The advantage of this is that these annual policies tend to be more cost effective if you travel often. Now, limitation to this is they may not cover large prepaid trip costs unless you get an upgrade. So, for example, if you have a $15,000 trip and you only have a $5,000 policy, then you now have a $10,000 gap. So that's something you have to look for when you're getting your policy and when you're making your choices. So again, the question we answered today is, what is the difference between a single trip policy and a annual trip policy? Cover your business, cover your assets, know what you're getting into, read the fine print. And as always, if you ever need help, feel free to reach out to me at Savali Travel and Tours, which is the travel side of the company. And if there are any other questions that you have, be sure to drop them in the comments. You can always ask questions here, and we'll be glad to answer them in another video. And of course, if you need to email us directly, then for the travel side, you can email us at admin@savalitravel.com. And of course, for my business people, you can always still email us at aspire_850@outlook.com. Family, I look forward to seeing you all next time. Wishing you success in your business, and I'm always rooting for you. Bye.